I'm Governor Larry Hogan. Our state is taking unprecedented and aggressive actions in the fight to stop the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic here in Maryland. As you know, I recently issued a stay-at-home directive to ensure that no Marylander leaves his or her home unless it is for an essential job or for an essential purpose. I know how difficult this is on each and every one of you. There's a great deal of fear and anxiety, and the truth is that none of us really know how bad this is going to get or how long it's going to last. But I can promise you that there are a great many dedicated people doing tremendous things, working around the clock, and doing their very best to help keep Marylanders safe. In the days to come, we're going to need to depend on each other, to look out for one another, and to take care of each other, because we are all in this together, and we will get through this together.
This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. The Annapolis Police Department is searching for two males that are suspected of being involved in a home invasion and armed robbery on Marks Court. Around 11:30 p.m. on March 6th, a single female victim reported that two unknown males forced their way into her apartment on Marks Court in the Bay Ridge Gardens community. They struck her in the face with a gun, forced her into the bedroom displaying handguns and demanding money. They took the money as well as the victim's cell phone and fled in an unknown direction. And that community has seen an uptick in crime in the recent months, with a murder on March 15th, of which they just made an arrest the other day, and an armed robbery on March 18th. And Arundel County Police are looking for a man accused of cutting a hole through the roof of a pharmacy and stealing 3,000 Oxycontin tablets. This happened on April 5th. They do have some video surveillance up on their Facebook page. Not very good, but anybody that has any information is urged to contact the Arundel County Police Department at 410-222-6145. Governor Larry Hogan held a press conference yesterday at the Baltimore Convention Center where they are setting up a makeshift hospital. He laid out some new initiatives to fight the COVID-19 virus as it comes through Maryland. He has set up new strike teams to help nursing home facilities in need of additional support, and they're divided into three sections: testing teams to identify those in close contact with the confirmed case, collecting and sending out specimens to get the fastest test available, assistance teams to basically be able to quickly assess the situation and determine the equipment needed. That would be like the National Guard. And then clinical teams, which will include doctors, nurse practitioners, registered nurses, to actually get in there and provide on-site medical triage. He also announced that the White House and federal officials have now designated the Baltimore-Washington corridor as an emerging hotspot. And as we told you about yesterday, he discussed his new executive order empowering local health departments to be able to shut down any businesses or establishments, construction sites that they deem unsafe and not following the orders. Finally, he did say that they are going to be releasing additional demographic breakdowns in Maryland case data, including hospitalization rates and mortality. If you are a small business and you're trying to get some money out of the Federal CARES Act and you're dealing with Wells Fargo, you may want to listen up here. Wells Fargo, if you remember, they had that whole fake account scandal back in 2016. Well, they are still stinging from that. The Federal Reserve put an asset cap on the bank of $1.95 trillion in 2018, but they have almost exhausted that, and essentially all they have is $10 billion worth of lending capacity. They are prioritizing that and looking to their own customers to do that, but that is not enough for the demand. The problem is that most banks are prioritizing it for their own customers and those that they have a relationship. So if you're at Wells Fargo and you have come in at a time when they don't have any lending capacity, chances are not very good of going to another bank because they're probably dealing with their own customers and the people that they have relationships with. And just a quick reminder, during this unprecedented time of upheaval, remember about mental health. We're all under stress. People respond to stress differently, and it's a critically important time that you want to make sure that you're checking in on the loved ones and yourself. And I came across the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention's new website yesterday, and you can find that at afsp.org. org/COVID-19. And they've got a bunch of resources to support mental health while navigating this whole change. They've got a COVID-19 We Must Care for Older Adults mental health section, taking care of your own mental health in the face of uncertainty and supporting your mental health while navigating change. Not all suicide related, but these guys really know what they're talking about. Check it out, afsp.org, and right on their main page is a big button for COVID-19. Giant Food made another announcement yesterday, and this one's a good one. On Sunday, April 12th, they are going to be reducing store hours. All of their employees are under a lot of stress. That is Easter, so they're going to be closing all their stores and pharmacies at 3 p.m. on Sunday, April 12th, and they're going to reopen it at 6 a.m. on Monday, the 13th. They want to make sure that their employees do have some time to rest a little bit before the new week. Starting this Thursday, April 9th, they are going to be limiting their customers in the stores. They're going to cut their capacity down to 20%, and they will have associates at the doors monitoring this. So it's going to be one person in, one person out after they reach their capacity. With that said, you want to make sure that you leave the little crumb snatchers at home if possible. Just go shopping by yourself. They are also installing one-way directional signage in their aisles. That means the aisles will be one-way. And that was a question I've had for a couple weeks is, what do you do when you're passing people in the aisles? Well, Giant's taking that decision out of our hands, and they are making aisles one-way. But they do say that you want to make sure that you're mindful of the distance between you and any associates who may be working in the aisles to restock the shelves. But you don't need to worry about that in the toilet paper or the paper towel aisle because there's none of that. And finally, they are giving personal protection equipment to all of their associates. They do have plastic face shields for all of the associates, and they are in the process of securing face masks. And they have also encouraged anybody to wear face masks if they have them, following the CDC recommendations. So the Giant employees are being looked after, the Giant customers are being looked after, and Giant seems to have stepped up to the plate. And finally, as we wrap up, Latitude 38 is doing it again. This is the restaurant down on City Dock on Dock Street. I think it's at 12 Dock Street, if I'm not mistaken. But they are having a first responders and hospitality workers free farmers market this Thursday, April 9th at 11:30 a.m. If you are a first responder, which means you are a cop, a firefighter, an EMT, a hospital worker, and in need of food, you can go down there and you can pick up a bag for free. Additionally, hospitality industry workers are invited as well because there's been huge layoffs in that sector as well. What you need to do, get there between 11:30 and 2. It is while supplies last. First responders in uniform or with an ID. And if you worked in the restaurant or hotel industry, bring a fairly recent pay stub. If there are supplies available after 2 p.m., they will open it up to the public and anybody can go in there. But this is the fourth time they've done this, and Latitude 38 has really sort of stepped up to help out those in need as well. All right, that does wrap it up for us today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net for updates to these stories and more throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. If you're someplace where you can leave us a rating or a review, please do that. And if you like what we do, make sure you let your friends and family and colleagues and coworkers and everybody know about us. Let them know where you get your podcast. Teach them how to get a podcast if they don't know how to do it, because that would really help us. Other than that, hang tight. We've got George Young with your local DMV weather forecast. He's coming up in just 1 minute. But first, this quick message from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, Marylanders. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services in Millersville, Maryland. First, I'd like to recognize Governor Larry Hogan and County Executive Stuart Pittman for their leadership through this pandemic, as we all continue to adjust to new norms in these challenging times. To be sure, we'll come out of this situation with some permanent changes to our way of life, including the possibility of a greater commitment to a more holistic and sustainable lifestyle. Because of that, maybe now is a good time for you to start thinking about your energy future, including a shift to solar for your home or business. Fortunately, Solar Energy Services utilizes interactive technology tools that allow us to continue to do business safely while providing detailed, accurate presentations and proposals from a distance. So don't hesitate to schedule a free solar design with us today at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net. Sunshine's a-wasting, but together we'll get through this.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, April 8th. Yesterday brought a little bit of everything to the Annapolis region with some early showers followed by more PM rain. with a bit of sunshine mixed in throughout the day, and today will be fairly similar with more showers and thunderstorms possible in the AM and PM hours as temps jump up a bit into the 70s to near 80 degrees in spots before more showers and possible thunderstorms again on Thursday with highs closer to 65 to 70 degrees ahead of a cold front that will then bring cooler temps in the 50s on Friday along with breezy winds gusting over 25 miles per hour at times before a very nice day on Saturday with sunshine and highs near 60 ahead of our next rain threat on Sunday with 60s for highs. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMD Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our app on all of your devices by searching DCMD VA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on our website at dmdweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Hi, this is Brian Griffiths, the founder of Maryland Podcast Month. Maryland Podcast Month was founded in 2018 to draw attention to all of the great podcasts and podcasters here in Maryland. And during this time of social distancing, there is no better time to start learning more about locally produced podcasts. Shows like my podcast, Red Maryland Radio, Eye on Annapolis, the Conduit Street Podcast, JB's Drive-In Podcast, the Maryland Crabs, Quality Time, the Society Fringe Players, and more are still putting out fresh content. Visit MarylandPodcastMonth.com to learn more about these great Maryland podcasts. That's MarylandPodcastMonth.com. And we thank you for your support of local content.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.